May 1st. MacArthur Park, Los Angeles, California. What happened? Who is responsible?
Bill Bratton is a fraud, he's a thug, he's dangerous, and the next 5 years I'm really concerned about the city of Los Angeles.
One former member of the LA media is vehemently critical of Police Chief Bratton. The rest are strangely quiet, especially after several of them were beaten in the May Day melee. Were they beaten into silence? Where is the final investigation report? And why isn't the LA media demanding that it be published?
When I look at what happened May 1st, one of two things happened. Either those officers were told to do that, and they were following orders, or it was complete reckless abandon of those police officers, and they were boys gone wild, boys in blue gone wild. Bill Bratton said, I'm so embarrassed. Hey, he's the guy at the top. The buck stops with him. Why does he even still have a job? Because the political shenanigans that are going on. Why did he get reappointed in the middle of an investigation? Okay, it shouldn't have happened. But that's the level of corruption that we now have in Los Angeles, and people ought to be pretty ticked off about it.
Donald Zachary represents the media as a director and legal counsel for the Radio Television News Directors Association. Leslie Dutton interviewed him to find out why the media isn't pursuing what happened at MacArthur Park.
The May Day incident caused a lot of press criticism of the police department, a lot of scrutiny of Bratton. As I recall the press coverage, there were a lot of people who were saying in the press that Chief Bratton should not be approved for a new term until all the questions had been answered. And now things seem to have settled down.
Where is he in taking responsibility for the command staff? Why is it that the deputy chief of the Central Bureau is taking the heat? How about the guy that was the lieutenant of the B platoon that did all that? His Irish friend Roger Murphy, who'd never been involved in that kind of thing. How about the money that they pull for training? And these police officers weren't trained how to handle crowd control. Half of those guys were new. How about the captain of Metro Division, who should have been held accountable and should to this day? Where did he come from before he became captain of Metro? He ran the consent decree operation. Isn't that interesting?
Chief Bratton, it seems to me, took responsibility in all of those areas. He changed his command structure within weeks after May 1st. He changed the training to bring in, I think it's Commander or Chief Hillman, I believe is his title, so that he has actually made changes in both of those areas and has appointed his second in command, Jim McDonnell, to be the direct point person in negotiating with RTNA to work on changes in structure for the benefit of both the department and the media. So with great respect to Mr. Hermosillo, my experience has been quite the opposite of what he stated.
The role of our media is to play the watchdog over government.
Free speech and freedom of the press are fundamental to our democracy. Both were endangered on a day in which the trust between government and its people was broken.
Where is the outcry for reckoning and resolution?
The media, it's every day is a new day, a new news day. Every day is something else to cover. Every day is another pursuit. Every day is another fire, another homicide, another kidnapping, another budgetary issue, another story about illegal immigration. The media moves on, and I think by buying time, LAPD hopes, and the mayor hopes, and the police commission hopes, especially John Mack, they hope that this thing will fade away.
From RTNA's point of view, we're working very hard to make sure the news directors remember what went on May 1st and are part of the process of finding solutions.
Mr. Hermosillo resents the way the media, along with the mayor and the police commission, bend over backwards to accommodate the chief. The problem, he insists, is the chief, not everybody else.
You look at a guy like John Mack, who was, the ultimate anti-police activist. He's been co-opted now. When it was time for reappointment of Bill Bratton, he said, we won't judge Bill Bratton just on the activities of the May 1st melee at MacArthur Park. I want to judge him on his 5 years as chief. And I said, I agree. Let's talk about the Stanley Miller flashlight beating. You know, Bill Bratton said that didn't happen on my watch. I called NYPD. It happened 100 times on his watch. Okay, how about the shooting of little 19-month-old Susie Pena? That happened on his watch. How about the shooting of Devin Brown? That happened on his watch. You know, he demoted Lee Carter, deputy chief, because of the incident at MacArthur Park, and he said, I've got to have people that I know, that I can trust. Well, guess who appointed Lee Carter to deputy chief? Bill Bratton did. But he doesn't want to remind you of that.
So with all these facts available, why isn't there a louder call for accountability from the mainstream media? After their own members were abused by the police, why isn't the media clamoring for the report of the final investigations?
It's a very good question, and I hope it doesn't seem flippant for me to recommend that maybe some of the people you might want to talk to are some of the news directors to ask them that, because it's a very legitimate question.
According to Mr. Hermosillo, Chief Bratton is slick enough to avoid getting any dirt on him.
And Bill Bratton, glad hands, comes around and, how are you and stuff, but behind the scenes he's ruthless. He's ruthless. The Protective League, is battling on whether to do a vote of no confidence on him or not. But the leadership likes him because he's created scenarios that are good for cops. He's weakened the discipline system. See, he's the slimiest, slickest public official I think I've ever seen in my life. And it's disgusting, what he gets away with, because people are afraid to question him.
But how long will it take before the media starts to get impatient with the delay? Is Mr. Hermosillo correct? Is Chief Bratton stalling, hoping that the public will lose interest and let the incident die a quiet death?
It has been interesting that the period of time that has elapsed since the preliminary report from the police department was issued has been almost 2 months now, if I remember correctly, and we still don't have a final report. I'd like to know what the final report is.
Corruption is pretty rampant in the city government here, and it's tragic. It's sad. It really bothers me, because L.A. is my town. I love L.A., and I hate to see how people are playing games with our government.
You can watch this program in its entirety as a Full Disclosure subscriber, or you can purchase the DVD on our website. Full Disclosure will continue to press for the answers to what happened and who is responsible.